And we are live. Hi everyone and welcome to our Consul Hangout. My name is Rhys O'Sullivan, and on behalf of all of us here at InterNations and the whole Consul community right around the world, I want to say a huge welcome to you and thanks for joining us. We have a very special Hangout planned for you today to help you get off to the best possible start in your role as a Consul. Now, to do this, we're going to run through some different topics and different questions and answers to help you get started. I'm joined by some really special guests that are going to help me walk through this today and help you get off to the best possible start in your role. And I'd like to introduce them to you now. First off, we have Christoph Market joining us from Madrid. Christoph, welcome.
Hi, good evening. We're here this evening. Good evening from Madrid. I'm the Madrid Community Manager, and yes, I'm located in the Spanish capital.
Good to have you here, Christoph. Thanks for joining us. We also have all the way from two doors that way, Morgan and Catherine from our groups team. Guys, thank you.
Yeah, hello, my name is Catherine. I'm one of the groups managers here at the InterNations headquarters. Our job is to find new consuls, onboard them, and provide them with all kinds of support you might need along the way. We help to ensure that the communities are active and that your activities uphold the standard of quality of InterNations. And I'm responsible for the groups in Africa.
Hi everyone, my name is Morgan and I am responsible for our InterNations communities in the US and China. And today I'm just really looking forward to hearing advice from our veteran consuls and of course answering questions that were submitted in the last few weeks. I'm very excited to get started.
Fantastic. So thank you guys. It's very lucky to have you along. We're going to get some great questions to you later. Finally, Christine, our consul of the singles group, the volunteer group, and your new group, the Joy of Life, right? I can't pronounce that in French, but welcome once more.
Hello, good evening, everybody. I'm Christine. I'm the consul of the singles group, the Joie de Vivre that I just created, the volunteer group, and ambassador for the newcomers group. So I'm very delighted to share all my experiences as consul and as ambassador. So welcome and talk to you soon.
Great, thanks Christine. Hey, and just before we get started, I just want to give the guys a bit of an understanding of your groups. How long have you been a group consul for?
Who is it?
To you, Christine. I'm interested in how long you've been a group consul for your singles group.
Okay, I became consul in April last year for the singles group, and for the volunteer group was in I think it was in September, and I become ambassador for the newcomers in January this year.
Okay, fantastic. Well, thanks, Christine, for joining us. And you do have a really good reputation here at Munich headquarters for running some really creative, really fun events and activities. And we're looking forward to picking your brain a little bit today, just to understand, you know, some of your secrets. So thanks once more for joining us. So for everyone that's already submitted any questions into the question and answer app on the right-hand side, thank you very much. We've also received some great questions via email directly to our group managers and to myself. So as best we can today, we're going to try and get to all your questions and either have Christine share some of her tips as a consul, Christoph share some of his experience as a community manager in Madrid, and same with our team here at InterNations Munich, just to help you get off to the best possible start. If you do have any questions throughout the Hangout, please feel free to enter them here. If we don't get to them, I promise you, we will have a groups manager get in touch with you tomorrow or ASAP to help you out with your first activity. So once more, welcome to the team. We're really excited to have you on board, and we're looking forward to seeing some of your first activities. Today we're going to go through a couple of different sections. The first is how to plan and post your first activity. So everything you need to do from coming up with the idea through to actually getting it up on the website, through to before the day of the event. We're going to go through some of your questions there. Then we're going to go through how to host an activity and sort of how to deal with things that come up on the day, and also create that atmosphere, that InterNations atmosphere that people really love. Now, to get straight into it, the first question I have, and Christoph, I'm going to pass this one to you.
Okay.
The first step is around kind of approaching a venue. So if a Consuls wants to go to somewhere, to a restaurant or to a different venue, what would be your advice on how to do this?
I recommend to choose a venue you know. If you want to do a dinner in a nice restaurant, you should know the restaurant, go there, have dinner there yourself, and be there on the original time when you want to do the activity. Because this is important. You need to know how the place works. Maybe if you step into the restaurant at 5 in the afternoon, there's nobody. It seems a beautiful, silent place where you can talk with people. But later you turn up at 8 at night and it's a crowded, too busy place where there's too many people and maybe they don't want to do a reservation for you. I also recommend if it's your first activity, maybe choose a bigger place and a day when they're not too crowded, so that there's no confusion if, for example, 20 people sign up and only 10 people finally have time to come to the dinner, so that there's no problems with the restaurants. But the most important thing is know the place and test it yourself before.
Good tip. Good tip. The other question I have on my list is, how do you choose the best date for your activity? And then how far in advance before the activity, or do you see your Consuls putting their activities up online?
Well, first talk about posting the activities. Our experience is 4 to 10 days in advance.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a smaller activity like a dinner, or you want to go running in the park, I think then it's enough to post 4 to 5 days in advance. If you're planning a bigger activity, a whole day excursion, hiking, or a weekend trip, then it should be at least 10 days or even more.
Yeah.
So later, how to find the best date, the best day? Well, people are usually very busy on Saturday night. So maybe they've got other things to do on a Saturday night. If it's your first activity and you want to organize a dinner, maybe choose a weekday, like Thursday or Friday. Talk to other people in InterNations, people you get to know at events. Ask a little bit what their habits are when going out, so that you get a feeling for the members of your community and what day of the week they might like.
Mm-hmm. Good point. And I'd imagine that very much varies, per community. I've seen, some South American countries where a coffee group works really well on a Saturday night, for example, whereas in other communities that just wouldn't work.
Exactly, that's the point, Reese.
Yeah.
Every community is different, so get to know the members of your community and get a feeling for how they work.
Great. Christoph, I'm going to bring up, we've talked a little bit about the different event posts earlier, you and I. I just want to bring up one, and I just want you to share with the group, I guess, what you think makes a really good event post, or an activity post, I should say, in terms of, if we take your example here, the picture, the description, things that you can do on the group wall. What is it that our, I guess, Consuls can keep in mind in order to set up a really good online activity post?
Well, as you can see in this event post, try to find an attractive title. And in this particular case, this Consul has been posting these kind of events and activities for the last year, almost every second time with the same title. So people know the title, it's like a series, they come back, they recognize it easily. She also doesn't change the picture from activity to activity, so it's like a logo. Whenever you see or people see this picture coming up on the event calendar, they know it's this group, it's our activity again. Then in the text, be very clear what it's all about. Explain, and always be aware that there might be people from other cultures. So things which are normal for you, other people might not know them or what it is. So explain very well what you're going to do, how long it will take, and how all the activity is supposed to work. And make it personal, because organizing activity finally is something personal. You're the consul. You're not offering a business. It's your personal invitation because you want to have a good time with people. So invite them. Make it personal.
Fantastic.
If
Thanks,
there's
Christoph.
money involved, if you know this dinner will cost 15, 20, whatever, how many euros, please don't forget to put in the price category.
Okay. Fantastic. There is one question that I think we really should address, and it's been asked here, and it's this thing around how do you make sure when you put in a lot of effort into setting up an activity, how do you make sure that the most people come? So what are the things that you can do before the event in order to make sure that you get the most people attending?
Almost everybody is very, very busy today. So don't forget to write a reminder like 2 days before your activity. Write comments on the wall. 4, 5 days before the activity. Post some nice pictures. Just keep people involved so that they are really keen on finally participating in the activity. Finally, don't expect too much. Don't expect 20 people of 20 sign-ups to turn up. It will always be a bit less, but don't be disappointed.
Okay. Hey, thanks, Christoph. And it is a part of life. It is unfortunate, I guess, with expatriate life can sometimes be a bit hectic. Christine, did you have anything to add to that of what you do in your singles group?
Well, for the singles group, I've got a very big membership, as you can see. When I joined in April 2014, there were about 200 members. And now there must be about 1,200 or something.
Unreal.
So it must have been the event that I've organized. So when it works, so we just carry on doing more or less the same things. And I realized that they really like more intimate sort of events. So it's more like going to a nightclub, going for dancing in a small group, and that is really nice. Going to a restaurant or even picnics. That's really very. It works very well with the single group because it's more intimate. It's you get to know each other better. You're not in a noisy club and things like that. And I usually go for this sort of events, and I'll continue doing it. So, talking about the reminders, like for example, as we say, they are all very busy expatriates. Yeah. They work. That's normal. They are here to work, so they are very busy. So I normally get about 40 people or 50 people signed up. And I can understand that sometimes not everybody will come. I'll prepare myself to be disappointed if even half will turn up, or I will be happy if just half will turn up. That would be really great. So what I do is, if it's a concert, then I will, they have to get the tickets in advance, so I will do that immediately. Like when I posted the event, I will do it immediately, said, okay, get your tickets today. Because it could be a very popular concert and it could be just sold out. So just do it. As you signed up, please get your tickets today. So I'll do that the day itself. And then maybe a week before the event, I will send them another reminder about the tickets. And then 2 days just before the event, I will send them another reminder to say the place and the time. That's it. I don't want to send too many because they don't read everything. And sometimes they just don't want to receive so many emails from me. So normally, just 2 days in advance, I just send a reminder to say, okay, you got your ticket, so this is it. I will see you in 2 days' time. So that's how it normally works, and it does work pretty well.
Okay.
I'm quite pleased with that.
Okay, thanks, Christine, and thanks for the question too. It is something that gets around a bit, and I think it's important to persist. You know, if you see that kind of thing happening, just keep trying. Eventually, you'll see those numbers kind of start to increase.
Reese, I think the idea of the Consul is that they are the community managers of their groups, offline and online.
Mm-hmm.
They're not only event organizers, activity organizers, they're responsible, you as a consul, you're online and offline, the community manager of your group.
Yep, that's a good comment, Christoph. I do have a question here that I want to touch on. Now, Mariella's asked, is it technically possible to block the calendar? So if a consul posted their activity, why don't we actually lock that in for a particular, so no one else can book that? You would have seen that we don't actually do that, because we do want to encourage a whole diverse range of activities that meet different interests. Christoph, would you have any tips for someone who wants to have their activity on a particular day, and make sure that they get in first, perhaps?
It's difficult. The only possibility to reserve a date is to post as early as possible and to hope that other consuls will not take the same date. Mm-hmm. You always have to rely on that as other consuls have a look at the calendar before posting too.
Okay.
But finally, don't worry. All our communities are quite big, so it doesn't matter if there's two activities on the same day and maybe even at the same time.
Fantastic. Okay, and finally, Christoph, I want to, before we move on to hosting and hosting your first activity, what tips, if you had to give your top 3 tips for consuls in setting up, planning, and posting their first activity, what would they be?
First thing is, make it easy. Get a very clear idea of what you want to organize. Make it personal, and make it easy for people to get there and to participate. So that's the day of the week, that's the venue in the city center, easy to get there with public transport. Don't involve prepayments, or don't do a whole day trip, or visit a winery where you have to take a bus 1 hour outside the city. No, make it easy. Go to the city center, set up nice wine tasting, nice get-together at a bar. It's all about personal relationship. Then later you can continue, can set up more difficult activities, but give it an easy start. And I should repeat this 3 times, so that's 1, 2, 3.
Nailed it. And what I want to do now is, to the team, the InterNations group team, you've heard what Christoph had to say from his hands-on experience. What is it that you see your consuls doing really well in planning and posting their activities?
Yeah, I mean, what I really try to encourage my consuls from the get-go is just to post their first activity, as it's the best way to really get the foundation of your group and to really broadcast the activity itself on the wire and so on. But most importantly, I really encourage everyone just to give it a try. You learn from posting and testing out the experience yourself, and your first activity doesn't have to be perfect, and nobody expects it to be. Next, as Christoph already said, I really try to encourage everyone to keep it simple. Use this first get-together to meet members and familiarize yourself with the role. And the more activities you do, the more you will get the hang of it. And furthermore, you can make it more complicated in the future. But from the get-go, just try to keep it simple and easy. Lastly, everything begins from the moment you post your activity. Do your best to respond to comments on your activity wall, manage your guest list, invite external contacts, and send out reminders. It just really, it provides this family atmosphere for your group members and really try to get everybody pumped up about your upcoming activity.
Brilliant. Hey, thanks, Morgan. I've got one question I just want to quickly ask because I'm just mindful of time. Before an activity, it's around the wait list. So how do you manage a wait list? We don't have an automatic wait list system, but I've seen some consuls managing it really well using their group wall. Christoph, how would you do that? How could a consul manage a wait list using their wall?
Well, the consul should know if there's a limited, a waiting list, so that people can say if there's a closed list of attendees, a closed guest list. Reese?
Yeah, and then once that guest list is full,
if someone
drops out,
people should sign up on the wall, tell everybody that they want to be on the waiting list, so everybody can see that they're on the waiting list, everybody can see who's first, second, third, so there's no trouble later. And then later when people step out, the consul, he can contact these people and tell them to sign up officially, or if the list is still closed, then he sets down the number of new members. He can invite them as per number 1, 2, 3 on the waiting list to join the activity.
Perfect.
Use the wall to make clear you're keen on being on the waiting list.
Beauty. Thanks, Christoph.
And that even will animate, I think, or remind other members who signed up and who maybe later can't show up to be that decent and sign off, to give their place to other members.
Yeah, and that's really important. So we've heard a little bit about planning the first activity, posting the first activity. What I want to talk now is about on the day of your activity. So what are the things you do from when you arrive through to the end of your activity to make sure it's a really great activity for InterNations? Now, as I said, Christine, thank you for joining us. We love your activities, and they're so creative and so fun and so different. Every time I go to your singles group in Paris, I see something completely Irish dancing, a flash mob, having an ice cream cone at Haagen-Dazs, really fun stuff. How do you get your ideas? Like, where does it come from?
Well, I'm a gourmand, as you say. I like ice cream. So whenever there is an opportunity, I will try to organize something that goes around ice cream. So anyway, I get my ideas actually from simple, really simple things. Like, it has to be fun. Something that I like doing, something I like to share. So that comes, the ideas come from there. So it's very easy. So I just see something that I like, something I think that people will like, and I just go for it. I just organize it. Things that are simple and not too expensive. They don't have to be expensive. So something like that attracts me, and I think, okay, I would like to share this event with everybody. So I go and post it. And what else? And I also like for example, a lot of picnics and things with the nature, with walking and picnicking and things like that, simple stuff. Mm-hmm. So I just share that with people too. So these are really very simple things, and I think it doesn't have to be complicated events to make them fun. So that's how I get my ideas, and they are usually most of the things that I like to do. That makes it even more fun. Yeah,
that's really important. Yeah. I'm interested when you, on the day of an activity, so whether it's a singles activity or maybe that's a good example, what are the things you do on the day to prepare for your activity and to host your activity to make sure that it's really fun and everyone feels welcome?
Okay, first of all, I print out the guest list. And I actually go through the guest list to look at the pictures and to look at the names. To me, it's very important. Then I will be there at the venue 15, 20 minutes in advance. Mm-hmm. And I am surprised sometimes to find that people are already there, which really I find it amazing. Yes, I find that they really can't wait to be there. So that is really great. It's really like an encouragement for me. So, and when they arrive, I will actually spend a few minutes talking to them, exchange. I actually give them their tickets, their name tags, and I actually, like sort of make a reaction, just an exchange, a few words, where you from and what you're doing, things like that, just really simple stuff. Then, if there's already somebody there, then I will introduce them to the people who's already there. If not, then they will come and stay with me. They can just stand around with me, and wait for the next person to come. So in that way, they don't feel alone. So that's how I host my events, make them really like at home, as you say.
No, fantastic. And I just get this vibe from your activities that through your photos, it seems like a lot of people come not knowing each other, and they seem to have a great time. So I think whatever you're doing there, it's working really well.
Thank you. Yes, I think so. I think people are really very happy to participate in my events, and they're always looking forward to new things. Yeah. And with the new group, it will be more for everybody. It's not only for singles, but it's for everybody, even children included, if there are. And I think that will be even better, because some expatriates, they have children here, and they don't know how to get them out of the their group. It's a good way to just sort of mix around with the other children of the other groups. That'd be great. I think that'd be really fun. It will be another level of InterNations.
Fantastic.
Yeah, the future.
Look forward to it.
Yes.
And finally, I just want to get, same as I asked to Christoph, what would your top 3 tips be for new consuls hosting their first activity?
Okay, for the new consul, it's really, I would say, I would repeat the same as Christoph, more or less. Make it simple. You really don't have to be complicated, as I just said just now. The second one, it has to be fun. Because if you don't like what you're doing, there's no point. So you really have to enjoy what you're doing. And the third tip is to make it really like central. It doesn't have to be too far. It doesn't have to be too complicated to travel. It just have to be really simple, nearby, just around the corner. Take the metro or take the subway. It doesn't have to be so far away. Just central. So that's my 3 tips for the new consul. Don't make it too complicated. Make life simple.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
And then of course, above all, I guess the key tip is as you said to me time and time again, have fun, right?
Have fun. That's the most important thing. Yeah, have fun.
Yeah. Well, hey, Christine, thanks again for joining us.
You're welcome.
Great to hear some of your tips. We do have a lot of questions in the comments section. Now, some of them are I think really important, but we are short on time. Christine, after this, you and I might have a discussion, and we can put together some of our feedback and then send that to the group, just so they have some of these answers, because there are some good questions there.
Okay.
Now, finally, you've heard a little bit about planning and posting your first activity. You've heard a little bit about hosting your first activity. It can seem like a lot of work, and we want to really assure you that it's not. Now, you've heard from Christoph that just to keep it simple. You've heard from Christine tell you do things that you love, which is really important. If your heart's in it, people will notice. We want to tell you you are not alone when you do this. There are a lot of resources that can help you, some of which include the group's consul manual, which you would have received when you first joined InterNations. This is a full resource that has everything you could possibly want to know about being an InterNations group consul. Secondly, what you have is a dedicated groups manager. And these are the 2 people sitting right here, Catherine and Morgan. Now, if you have any questions, you need any ideas or any kind of support, please do not hesitate to send an email to activity-groups@internations.org. And one of our team will get back to you straight away. Finally, we really encourage consuls to go to an event, to reach out to other consuls, to reach out to other ambassadors. InterNations is different because it is a community, and you'll be surprised at how willing people are to help you out. Talk about your groups at the event, talk about your activities at the event, and encourage people to come. Last but not least, the members of your group can be a great support to you. If you need ideas, if you need help setting up, if you need anything, reach out to them. They'll be more than happy, I'm sure, to help you out. So, just because I'm conscious of time, I want to pass to you now, Catherine, just to wrap us up.
Okay. Yeah, when the day of your activity has come, make sure to close the guest list and be there early. Be there in a visible spot so that everyone can recognize you are the guy from InterNations, you are the consul. The thing that makes InterNations really special is welcoming newcomers. So make sure to especially keep an eye out for people that are there for their first activity and want to get to know people that are more shy and more reserved. Try to bring them into your group. Mm-hmm. And what everyone else already said, make sure to enjoy what you are doing and stop worrying when the day of the activity has come. That's it. Yeah, or what I could add is the next day when you come home, make sure to post pictures on your group's wall to show everyone, share memories with everyone that was there, and show other people that did not attend, also that people that are no-shows and just did not show up to your activity, what they missed out on. This also helps to bring them back for the next activity.
Fantastic. Hey, thanks, Catherine. And we've spoken a little bit about the sources of support now. So what I'd like to do is I'll pass back to you there, Catherine and Morgan, just to wrap us up.
As Reese already mentioned, we do have a wide range support of different materials, and you will also receive a follow-up email after this hangout. And I'm sure everyone has already checked out their Consul manual, but again, this is a great resource that contains everything you need to know on how to get started. And Catherine and myself are here 9 to 6 every day during Munich business hours, and we're here to support you. And we would love to hear about everything and how it's all progressing with your members. And really, please don't hesitate to ask difficult questions in times of need, as we're more than happy to help. Next, of course, utilize your group members. If you have fellow consuls already in your group that have been appointed, that is wonderful, and it's a great way to just kind of find a way to work together to host activities. You can also conduct consul searches amongst your new members, and of course, at the first activity that you host, it's another great way to just try to spread the word about finding a volunteer to step up and assist you in planning and organizing future activities. And lastly, again, as Reese already mentioned, try to utilize your local InterNations community, and attending InterNations events and networking with other consuls is a great resource and is a very positive way to gain advice and help you brainstorm ideas for future activities. That's what I have so far.
Excellent, thank you. Well, that's all we have time for today. We've gone through our 30-minute time span. I can see we still have a lot of questions. Christine, Christoph, Catherine, Morgan, thank you so much for joining us and sharing some of your tips and advice. To everyone who's joined us, thank you for your questions. The ones that haven't been answered, we will definitely endeavour to get to those over the next day. One of our group's managers will be in touch. One more time, on behalf of all of us here at InterNations, welcome aboard. We're really glad to have you as part of the team. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate. activity-groups@internations.org. All the best with your first activities, and thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.